I think most of us get the Picts all wrong, and today I want to tell you why. So if you're interested in the people, places and events in Scottish history, then click the subscribe button at the bottom right of the screen and ring the notification bell to be told when I upload new videos. In the meantime, let me tell you a story. I want to take you to my favourite part of Scotland, North Perthshire, to tell you how the beginning and the end of the Picts was in Dunkeld. So who were the Picts? There was a guy living in these parts, around 83 AD it was. Now, his name doesn't matter right now. It's his people that we're here to talk about. They lived through the first Roman invasion of this northerly, barbarian part of Britannia. He might have looked out from the hill fort that stood high above Dunkeld and gives it its name. The fort of the Caledonians, Caledon, Dunkeld. It was a border hill fort. On a clear day, with sunshine brushing his cheeks, his eyes could scan east along the River Tay from that fort of the Caledonians, and he could see the land of the neighbouring tribe, the Vinicones. Invaders were building their own defences in that land, at a place that we call Inchtuthil. These people were different, a new threat. They were Romans. These highlands that rose and marked the border of Caledonian lands also gave our observer some protection from the invaders who'd been gradually coming north all his lifetime. But for how long would that protection last? When the Romans looked back upwards towards this hillside, they would have called our people Caledoni. But they'd have other names for other tribes, north of here, west of here, south of here. Texali, Damnoni, Maiati, Votadini. 200 years later, when our Caledonian tribesman's 5 times great grandson would stand here at this hill fort, the Romans would for the first time call him and his people Picti. It meant painted people. It was intended as an insult to those who still wore tattoos and hadn't given in to 200 years of repeated invasion and retreat. So what happened in between? It seems like 100 years after our Caledonian looked down from his hill fort, his great-grandson, the great-grandfather of the first called Pict, might have stood there at a time when the Romans accused the Caledoni and their pals, the Maiati down near Stirling, of conspiring together and breaking treaties with Rome. What followed was devastating. In 210 AD, Roman Emperor Septimius Severus came north with sword, fire and destruction and brutal retribution. Now, before I tell you about the effect of that, I should say that I make extra videos for my Patreon members, and I've been fortunate to be able to have chats with some proper top blokes for these. Guys like archaeologists Gordon Noble and Murray Cook, who featured in the video about Scotland's most important place. They give a deeper insight than I could, and they've provided inspiration for this particular video. If you become a Patreon member, not only do you get access to these extra videos and other stuff, you also help fund my top-notch videographer Matt, who gives us the drone shots and the camera work when it looks professional. Without Patreon members, you'd get the out-of-focus blurry stuff that I do. So it would be great if you could click the link top right or in the description below and become a Patreon member. It really keeps the channel going. During my chat with archaeologist Murray Cook in that Patreon video I told you about, he told me about evidence that in the aftermath of Septimius Severus's brutal punishment invasion, economic and agricultural activity in that area southwest of here was devastated for decades. Now, I'll leave a link for Murray's blog in the description. The point is that whatever came out of that period of devastation seems to have been a new people, a stronger people, a people tempered by fire and brought together in a new political entity that the Romans called Picts. The Picts became a byword for barbarians of northern Britannia who wouldn't conform. In the coming century, they caused Romans all sorts of problems that they hadn't experienced before. They were part of the wide cooperation that saw Rome attacked in its northern borders across Europe. The barbarian conspiracy. So the Picts had arrived. But what's the misconception that this video is about? Two things I want to point out. If I stop people in the streets of Dunkeld today and ask them to define themselves, what would they say? Their passport would say that they're citizens of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. I reckon some will say that they're British, others will say that they're Scottish, and others will say that they're both. Some might feel a kinship with Geordies in the north of England, but less comfortable with those further south. Given that this area can be a wee bit posh, maybe it's the other way around. As a rural tourist town, they might identify as Scots, but feel more at home with folks from Caledon than city dwellers in Glasgow. What I'm saying is that I hear folk talk about the Picts as if these groupings of tribes came together as a single unitary thing in 297 AD, when Scots today don't have a singular cultural identity. Picti was the name the Romans gave them in 297. But there wouldn't have been one single type of Pict. Some, maybe all of them, didn't even see themselves as Picts, but were still Caledonii, Texali, or something else. It'd be unusual if there weren't different flavours of Picts. The 8th century writer Bede certainly identified northern Picts and southern Picts. And that was 400 years later. Writers also talked about their Maiate pals who conspired with Caledonians against the Romans still being Maiate. And not until later are they mentioned as having consolidated into Picts. Time's the other thing that we need to talk about. When I say Picts, for many of us, the thing that will come to mind are those carved standing stones. Stones like the one discovered in 1886, just beyond that Roman fort at Inchtuthil. You see, the Venicones had become Picts as well. These stones feel like the symbol of Pictishness. But these stones and other artwork changed over time as fashion, technology, and religion changed. And there, Dunkeld has another claim. The writings of Adamnan tell us that it was the Gallic monk St. Columba who came west and converted Picts to Christianity. We're also told that he came here to Dunkeld in life, and there was a Pictish monastery on this site before they started the medieval cathedral. You'll see Columba in the stained glass of the cathedral today, but you'd also see the Pictish conversion to Christianity in the deeper design of their carved stones. Dunkeld also has a link to the end of the Picts. Since ever I knew, custom has cited Kenneth MacAlpin as the first king of Scots. Mac Alpin is a Gaelic name. He was at that transition point where Pictland changed to Alapa. Some would say he caused it. And the Picts faded into the background, leaving nothing more than genetic signatures and a few place names. One of the causes of the merger between Picts and Gaels was the threat from the Vikings. They'd attacked Iona and they were still a threat. St Columba's remains needed to be taken to safety, and it was Kenneth MacAlpin who brought those remains here to the Abbey of Dunkeld, which would have been there, where Columba the Gael had himself ministered to Picts. Here was the religious centre of this new nation the merger of Pict and Gael created. It's an important place in the story of our land. Dunkeld, the fort of the Caledonians, was here when the Picts were born, and it was here at the transition to Alba. And when Kenneth MacAlpin died, the first King of Scots in a land now Gaels, the annals in Gaelic Ireland recorded him as the King of the Picts. This was in 858 AD. Now, 600 years since our first record of Romans using the term. That's like the time span between James I and the present day. In that time, Scotland had seen action in the 100 Years' War, flirtation in the War of the Roses, Renaissance, Reformation, the rise of tartan, French influence, English occupation, Union, Jacobite uprisings, Enlightenment, Empire, Margaret Thatcher, North Sea oil, constitutional change, and Grand Theft Auto. And folks in Aberdeen, Dundee, Glasgow and Edinburgh still speak with different accents and have different cultural touchstones. What makes you think that in a similar 600-year period, the Picts would have remained singular and unchanged, a unified culture and identity? That's the thing that it seems to me that folks get wrong about the Picts. Over 600 years, the name Picts had been coined by Romans as an insult, adopted by locals as a badge of honour, and used by outsiders as a universally understood label for a group of people who had assimilated tribes, technology and Christian faith, whose centre of power had changed, whose language had changed, whose date for Easter had changed, and whose identity, etched out in stone carvings, had changed. And if you look carefully, you can see it here in Dunkeld. From the hill fort up there to the riverside cathedral down here, this isn't just one of the most beautiful places in our country, it's one of the most significant. You should come. Of course, I've made more videos about the other people who gave Scotland its identity, and they're in a playlist coming up on screen now. Support the channel by clicking top right to become a Patreon member, or buy me a coffee in the description below. In the meantime, ha' mi an dách is going to be a lamb alive. Cheery and drasta.